On Saturday afternoon around 6 o'clock, we received a call on the Interstate I-95 of an individual driving erratic and gunshots coming from the vehicle at other motoring public. As he proceeded through Nash County, it was given out to our communications that several other motoring public had called and notified us of similar situations. A deputy made contact with the vehicle, which was operated by Franklin Joseph Dangerfield. He resided at 710 Royal Road, Latson, South Carolina, and he had a date of birth of 10/25/1985. Mr. Dangerfield had shot at several vehicles. He has injured a couple of people. One of the individuals were life flighted from Rocky Mount to Greenville to ECU Medical Center for surgery. At this time, I understand that that individual is still at the hospital recovering. We had another person that was injured by flying debris and glass, and she was taken to Halifax Memorial Hospital where she was treated. Mr. Dangerfield at this time is at Virginia Medical Center in Richmond, Virginia, being guarded by the Virginia State Police until he is released, and then he will be processed in to the Virginia Commonwealth State for charges arising from DUI to reckless driving. He will have charges in North Carolina ranging from assault with a deadly weapon, inflicting serious injury on 2 people I know, several assault with deadly weapon with intent to kill on as possibly up to 8 people. He started shooting at vehicles when he entered North Carolina in Robeson County near the 11-mile marker, which is between Rowland and Lumberton, North Carolina. There was a report of a black vehicle then that had shot at a passing motorist at that time. Luckily, when he got into Nash County, he started firing more frequently. The deputy intercepted him, and we pursued him to the 11-mile marker in Virginia, where Virginia State Police took over the chase at that time near Emporia at 11B exit. He collided, and his vehicle come to rest in a median area, and he was arrested without incident. We have 1 deputy that was injured during the car wreck, and he is home now recovering. He is a K-9 officer, and the K-9 is okay also.
Do you know how many shots, any guess at how many shots from when he entered North Carolina all the way through that he fired at random people?
I can't say exactly. Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearm, our federal partner, is working that case. I was with them last night, and there were multiple shotgun shells in the vehicle. He was in possession of a weapon of mass destruction, which was a shotgun that had the barrel sawed off less than 18 inches. So I can't say exactly how many shots were fired, but it was multiple times.
Any motive, or was he just drunk and stupid?
I have no idea. You go back with the stupid part. I don't know if it's stupid or mean. Motoring public going down the road today, minding their own business, families, kids, loved ones going up and down the road, and then somebody not only driving in a manner that he was driving, reckless and disregard for others, but then he's firing at the motoring public. It's very alarming.
The 2 people who were injured, are they locals? Are they from North Carolina?
I don't remember the exact addresses. They were just motoring public on the interstate system. I do not think that they were from North Carolina.
And the chase for you guys obviously started in Nash County, and then Virginia State Police picked it up at the state line?
They picked it up at about the 11-mile marker, and they joined in the chase shortly before a collision occurred. I cannot give enough accolades to the agencies involved, which would be Robeson County Sheriff's Office, who initially had the first incident. Our law enforcement officers here in Nash County, what a great job of intervention that they did. It saves lives because it is painfully obvious that this man would have caused destruction if he was not intervened. Northampton County Sheriff's Office Virginia State Police and Virginia Department of Transportation did an outstanding job of preserving lives and helping the motoring public.
How long would you say the chase was? Any sort of time frame that you can give for that? How long it lasted?
Well, it went from about the 145-mile marker up to the 11-mile marker. It was quite some time. He went through 3 different counties, or 4 different counties, and into the state of Virginia, 11 miles into the state of Virginia.
Can you say what make and model car this was, and did he own the vehicle, or do you know who it's registered to?
I think the vehicle is owned by him. It was a black Silverado pickup truck with large tires on it. Thinking the year was a 2011, but I'm not for sure on that.
Can you say where each person was struck by gunfire on the interstate?
I cannot. One individual I know had upper torso wounds, and I do know one was glass in the eyes.
Can't say the names of the patients at this time, or their ages or addresses?
I did not get those. It will be in a report later that we will have, being a holiday weekend, all of that stuff is still under investigation. You can only imagine what a horrifying event this is for you and your family to be going down the interstate and then something of this magnitude just pull up beside of you and start this.
Have you ever, in all your years of law enforcement, have you ever heard of or seen anything like this before?
I've seen similar actions, but not to the volatile nature of this one was, where it continued on and on and on.
Where did y'all pick up the pursuit? Do y'all know what the interstate where you intercepted him?
Near the Halifax County line, and we pursued them all the way through Halifax County, through Northampton County, and into Virginia, 11 miles into Virginia.
Do y'all have any estimation from your deputies how fast he was driving at that point?
Estimates were the same as when he was in Robeson County. He was driving erratic and a high speed up to about 100, 110 mile an hour. No due regard for the motoring public.
How do y'all know, or can you say how alcohol was a factor? Was there either beer or wine or liquor in the car, or was his speech slurred, or his eyes dilated, or could y'all tell?
There was alcohol in the vehicle, and I did look at him, and in my opinion, he had consumed some impairing substance, and he was appreciably impaired.
Did you actually come in the pursuit and go all the way up to Virginia?
I did go to Virginia, I did.
And did he wreck on the interstate?
He did.
How did that happen? But generally, what happened? Did he start spinning out of control?
He spun out of control and went out into a median area and overturned, or partially overturned.
Oh, he did partially overturn?
He did.
He was not ejected?
He was not ejected.
Did the airbags go off?
The airbags in the vehicle were deployed on the passenger side, the driver's side, and front. The vehicle's safety equipment did an outstanding job.
And, I was going back to the 2 patients. Do you know specifically, if you can identify the one that was going to Greenville and the other, where they were hit on 95? Do you have any pinpoint where they were specifically?
I'm thinking that it was around the 140-mile markers, and then it continued up until there was intervention from the deputy.
It was a sawed-off shotgun?
It was a sawed-off shotgun, a weapon of mass destruction. And that's what we got to look at today. America looks at all of these black rifles and AR-15 and M16s. The most devastating thing out there is a shotgun, especially when you saw that barrel off and you put the right ammunition in it. It's a very scary situation, and God was with these people last night.
How much it usually take you to think, Sheriff, to reload one of those things? And do y'all have any idea how many cartridges or how much firepower he had, and did he have more?
He had multiple shells in the vehicle, and usually these weapons will possess up to 5 shells, and you can put extensions on them up to 8 or 11 rounds in them.
I'm trying to figure out how in the world he could do this and still drive simultaneously.
No regard for human life.
Well, do you think adrenaline might have been something into it too? You think maybe he just...
I can't speculate on that.
Is this the most unusual chase that you've been involved in? No years as a lawman?
I've seen some, and that's why we need to thank law enforcement every day for what they do. These guys have got families they go home to, and without the intervention of law enforcement here, this guy would have definitely killed somebody. What true heroes, from Virginia State Police to my Nash County officer, Northampton County officers that got involved in this and put other lives first. I am so proud of these officers, what they do day in and day out.
What was it like for you personally in the rest of your deputies and officers involved in that chase, you know, where there are a lot of people driving on the highway. You kind of have to weave your way through and try and apprehend the suspect.
You know, we wanted to do it as safely as possible, but our mission here is preserve lives and protect the people and the motoring public. You know, our mission is to get him off the road, get him contained. He's a danger to everybody.
Does he have a record?
He has a record. It looks like it extends from 2011 up to this. We're getting the convictions dates, and I don't want to talk about charges because I like to know what you're convicted of, and I can elaborate on that more after the offices open up on Tuesday.
Well, the convictions in South Carolina?
South Carolina.
Any in North Carolina?
No, he's just got charges here. Now, this is the first incident I think that we've had with him in North Carolina.
So I was going to say, for clarity, you've never seen or heard of this guy?
Never heard of him before. Never. Robinson County had never heard of him.
And do you know the condition of the two patients and the condition of him right now?
I don't. Speculatory. I think that he is being released and he'll be in the custody of from the medical center, and he'll be in custody of Virginia State Police.
So facing charges in North Carolina and Virginia, if convicted, do you know how long he could face in prison?
I can't, because there might be federal intervention from alcohol, tobacco, and firearms, and the charges he is charged with are very severe and very serious. So I'm sure it's a substantial sentence. And
is there any dash camera video you guys would be able to provide us with?
we will, but at this time I do not have possession of that because we have not downloaded them, and the district attorney's office and the United States Attorney's Office would have to allow that because it is evidence at this time.
Would he keep facing any charges of assault on law enforcement officers?
He did not make any outward assaults towards law enforcement.
Okay. Did you see him at the wreck scene?
I did.
Was he conscious?
He was.
Did he say anything or did you hear anything?
He did not.
Was he wearing a seatbelt? Anybody know?
He was contained in the vehicle, so I would think so. But I can't. I wasn't there at the time. Virginia State Police got him out of the vehicle. I don't know if he was restrained or not.
So equal total.
There was no, I didn't see any indication in the vehicle where he had any severe head injuries or anything where there was any contact with the windshield. And at that momentum where he had the accident, obviously I think that you would have had a lot of trauma.
Were you up there
So
for
it's
a long
possible
time?
he did have it on.
Were you up there for a long time at the scene?
We were up there until wee hours of the morning.
Well, did the interstate have to be shut off or partially shut off?
It did not. Virginia DOT VDOT did an outstanding job of keeping the traffic moving and, made it safe for the motoring public.
What makes a sawed-off shotgun so much different from just a typical shotgun for people who aren't familiar?
One thing is it's easily to conceal, and then the ability of the spread of the shotgun and the mobility of it. Laying in bed last night, I was thinking, what if one of our state troopers or one of our deputies would have just stopped him for erratic driving and that shotgun is sawed off and one would walk up there to that car? What a horrifying event that could be. Or he conceal it under a shirt and walk into an area where it's people, Shotguns are made for sporting events and things of that nature, and home defense is not made for criminal activity. And when they saw these barrels off of them, it takes the sporting aspect out of it.
Just recap, what law enforcement agencies were involved, and also did any law enforcement agency launch a helicopter and fly above?
We did not have a helicopter on station. Our nearest helicopter would have to come out of Raleigh, and by the time the North Carolina Highway Patrol got it, I don't think we could have got one airborne. It's always better to have surveillance from the air, but it's not always possible.
And which agencies were involved in the pursuit?
Several, Nash County, the Northampton County Sheriff's Office attempted to do some stop the vehicle with stop sticks and also some maneuvers, and then Virginia State Police ultimately.
And that's a 70-mile-an-hour stretch all the way, right?
That is.
There's no slow area. So I was going to say, he went all the way from the border up past Rocky Mount, past Roanoke Rapids into Emporia?
That is correct,
That's a long haul.
especially conducting criminal activity. Any other questions?
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Thank you. I thank you for coming out. Thank you.
Do you have a mugshot of you?
Of me?
Okay.
Oh, I was supposed to say, what if I did? Have we got one? A mug shot of him.
Or you got one of his DL?
It's hard with everything out of state.
His what?
It's hard with everything out of state.
It is. I haven't got one. That's his name. And Google him. You can find anybody else.
You only did that, I just wanted to say.
Yeah, I don't know.
Thank you.
So is he gonna go through Virginia